Hi class, I just wanted to make a quick video further clarifying exactly what I want from Project 2. It seems like some of you are having trouble figuring out exactly how this format is supposed to be for this assignment, and I want to the easiest way for me to just show you that if my first video didn't quite help you understand, this should tell you exactly what I want from this assignment. So in this assignment, and I'll read through this for you guys so you understand. But just to further clarify, this assignment, I'm asking for a letter from you, right? It's in a letter format. So dear, in this case, it's dear mom and dad, right? It might be dear trustees or dear father, dear brother, whatever, right? You picked your audience, and as such, they are going to be addressed here, right? That's the whole point of this assignment, is to kind of argue for a point, but the audience isn't me, it's whomever you're trying to convince, right? So let's go through this paper real quick, because some of you guys didn't quite grasp that concept. Totally fine. What will happen though is that for your next draft, after your rough draft, you'll have to change your paper into a letter, as I have here. Now, there isn't quite an introduction in the same sense it would be from the first paper, like it was in the first paper. It's a little different, but let's just read this and see what we have. All right, so here, this is an example from one of my it's an old paper from way back when, but I just wanted to bring it up real quick because it's a perfect example for what I'm asking for. So here we go. Dear mom and dad, as a child, don't you remember wanting something so badly that you do anything you could in order to make it happen? Right now, that's the situation that I am in. Nationals are coming up in August, and I feel that even though it's in Michigan, I am trustworthy enough to go by myself without your supervision. Although I know you're nervous about me traveling without you, first let me tell you a couple of things. If you allow me to go, I will be traveling with my best friend Colin and his family, whom you've been around before and know you can trust. Also, Dad has already given his approval as long as it's okay with you. I will pay for the expenses out of my own pocket, so there is no need to worry about finances. Not to mention, Nationals could help get me into the Hall of Champions. So let me stop right there. As you can see, this student wrote a letter to his parents, and what is he trying to convince them of? To let him go to nationals, right? It's clear right here. I want to go to nationals without your supervision. I want to go by myself. But of course, one of the reasons you should let me go is because will be with my friend Colin and his family, so you don't have to worry about my safety, and it'll be a good way for me to potentially end up in the Hall of Champions, right? He's arguing as if it's happening right now. Now, this happened to him maybe years ago, right? This happened when he was a kid, but he's using just the situation as a way to write this letter, as if it's happening right now in the present. So maybe, for instance, the student that wrote this was 30, right? But this happened to him when he was 18. So of course he's not with his parents anymore. But he is putting himself back in the past, trying to convince his parents to let him go again. But now he knows more about rhetoric. He knows about ethos, logos, pathos, kairos, and decorum. As such, he's going to try to employ those strategies to try to convince them. And that's what I want. That's exactly what I want for you guys to make a letter. So let's continue on. If you allow me to go to Wakefield, Michigan for nationals, I'd be going with Colin and his family, who you know are trustworthy. Remember, Colin has traveled with us before, and there weren't any problems. For instance, coming back from nationals in Oroville, California, you let us go off on our own, and we came back unharmed. He was with us all the way back to Seattle. No matter what we were doing, we always stayed out of trouble. Come to think of it, we've been best friends since we were 9, when I first started racing, and we've never done anything to get in trouble with when we are around each other. So you know that we'll be safe as long as we stay close to each other. Also, Colin's mom and aunt will be there with us the whole time, so you know we'll be in good hands. Though all of the years I've been racing, his mom and aunt have treated me just like family. They feed me and take care of me and care for me like one would a son. Not to mention they let me race their equipment, which shows that they have faith and trust in me. That whole family is just like another extension of ours. So you know that no matter how far I am from you, I'll still be looked after. Since Dad already approved that I go to nationals with Colin and his family, so now I just need you to say yes. Dad agrees with me that this is a good chance for me to gain some independence. As Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Although I won't be traveling alone, the trip will only help me to grow as a person because I'll be faced with more responsibilities. According to Frederick Reamer, a professor at Rhode Island College, you should give your child increasing responsibility for his or her personal well-being. It is my job to get things done when they need to be done. I will not just dally around and make Colin's family do all the work. Even though I know that they'll help me with whatever I need to help with, I don't want to force them to do extra work because they wouldn't be the responsible thing to do. Dad knows that I can be trusted and won't get into anything that I shouldn't. He knows that I can tell right from wrong and that I don't need constant supervision. You've seen me grow up over the years, so you should know this just as much as he does that I'm ready for this. Throughout my entire life, I've never been into any trouble, so rest assured that I'm not going to start now. It's clear how much I want to go to nationals this year, and even though it's all the way in Michigan, he's perfectly okay with it because he feels that I'm responsible and can take care of myself. According to Ernest Hemingway, the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. So let me stop there here again. Just a quick note. See how he's integrating sources into his paper? You need to do the exact same thing as well. Remember, you need at least 3 sources, and how he did it is exactly how you would do it. Of course, it would be dependent on your subject, but take this as a example on how you can do that. And of course, pause the video here if you need some ideas on how to do this. Don't worry about expenses, as I will cover those so money is not an issue. Recently, I began to search for possible ways to pay for my travel expenses. After thinking about it for some time, the solution that I came up with is to find a sponsor for nationals. There are 2 local businesses that I've talked to that are willing to sponsor me and cover all my estimated travel expenses, but none of that matters if you won't let me go to nationals. However, if you decide that I can go to Wakefield for nationals, then you won't have to pay anything in our pocket, and I'll be extremely happy. Also, since the money is coming from a sponsor and not a bank account, then you don't have to worry about me not having enough money for college. With me obtaining a sponsor for nationals, there's absolutely no reason to worry about expenses. I guess I'll keep going just to finish it, and that way you have a full example. As you know, getting into Hall of Champions has always been a dream of mine. At the moment, I've motivated to go to nationals with or without you. Psychologist Carol Dweck defines motivation as the love of learning, the love of challenge. She also follows up with the statement, motivation is often more important than initial ability in determining our success. Currently, I'm in the top 5 in the country for AXH and national standing on points, as I'm close to getting national high points, which is part of the criteria for getting to the American Powerboat Association Hall of Champions. This race is very important to me. It's a double point race, meaning that winning this race could help me to advance in the standings and international high points. This would put me one step closer to getting the Hall of Champions and one step closer to achieving one of my dreams. If I want to have a chance in achieving all this, then I really need to go to nationals. Our equipment is currently some of the fastest in the country, and everyone I race with has helped me to make me a better driver, so there's a very strong chance that I could win. It is not often that equipment runs this fast, so I don't want to miss my chance to chase this dream. I hope you understand where I'm coming from and how important this is to me. You know how important how important to me going to nationals, and I really believe that I'm ready to go on a race of my own. According to Huck House, giving choices, encouraging reasonable risk-taking, and allowing a child to make mistakes are all ways that parents build the skills that make independence possible. I've demonstrated to you in the past that you can trust me even without your supervision. On top of that, I will be going with Colin and his family, who, as you know, are very trustworthy. Furthermore, Dad has already said it's okay with him as long as you both say yes to the idea that I will pay for the expenses out of my pocket, so money is not an issue. Nationals could be that extra step that finally gets me in the Hall of Champions. I feel that with our equipment and Colin's family help, I stand a good chance of winning. On top of that, this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will give me a story to tell no matter how old I am or how old I may get. In other words, it is time to create memories and connections that last a lifetime. If you let me go to nationals in Wakefield, Michigan, I won't just grow as a racer, rather I'll grow as an individual. So, as you can see, this student had an argument to make about going to Wakefield, Michigan for nationals for a boating thing, whatever. The important thing is how he argued for that case throughout this paper. And you can see that, right? How he talked about how it wouldn't cost money because he got sponsors, how he's been doing this for a long time, how he will be safe because of his friend Colin and his family, right? That's exactly what I want you guys to do. And use sources to back up the points that you're bringing. Now, I noticed that the citations aren't cited correctly, so don't follow those, but follow the actual argument, right? And of course, after the letter is the works cited that you used here. One thing, of course, since this is a letter, you should have ended with sincerely, and then whatever the name was. Let's just say it's Dave, right? And that's it, and you're done. You don't need to tell me what actually happened. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you are trying to argue. You're showing me how to use rhetoric, and you're using rhetoric in a way that you're passionate about, that you care about. That's why I'm having you choose this topic, because I want you to write something you care about. In this instance, it was the student trying to get to nationals for this assignment. And of course, it needs to be at least 3 pages long. His was about 3.5, which is totally fine. If it went a little over, that's completely fine. It could be longer. That's totally good. So here, this is what you would have, okay? This is what I'm looking for. Please look over my overview of the main assignment and look at this example if you're having trouble coming up with a letter. Okay, this is exactly what this assignment entails. If you have any more confusion or if you need further clarification, please email me, as that will I will be able to help you throughout this process. Hopefully this answers any questions, and hopefully this puts you back on track. Remember to be aware of this when you're looking at your peers' letters. They should be organized in this way. There's no need for an introduction to the letter. This is just directly to whoever the audience is. So as you can see with this person, they just did to their parents, specifically their mom. It should really just be dear mom, not really dad. Like so. And then of course you don't need concluding. This was right here was his conclusion, as you can see. Again, pause the video if you need any, to need a further to read it yourself to help you out. Either way, this should help you figure out this assignment if you didn't quite get it. All right, I will see you in the next video.